Frankenstein, Agent of S.H.A.D.E, number 8, written by Jeff Lemire, art by Alberto Ponticelli. Last issue, they dealt with some monsters that escaped the cell, and they found out that the last monster was actually their son, who I guess was around. And this issue pretty much just deals with that wholesale. Like, it's not leaving it for a whole arc or anything. So we open up on Frankenstein and Lady Frankenstein making their way to some village that's just been destroyed by whatever their son is. And Frankenstein keeps calling it an it. And Lady Frankenstein's like, no, it's a he. It is our son. And Frankenstein apparently, and we see a flashback of this whole thing, but basically, he tried to kill it. And Lady Frankenstein, that's what caused their schism, is that she could not forgive him for that. And, I'll just tell you straight up. So it goes into the flashback. They're standing next to, like, one of the big tubes with the little fetus in it. Father Time has his old body. And they're like, oh, we're so happy that you could make this possible. And Father Time's like, oh, well, with S.H.A.D.E technology, anything's possible. And as they're admiring the little fetus floating in the tube, its eyes open up, and Lady Frankenstein's like, oh, he's looking at me. And Father Time's like, that shouldn't be happening yet. And immediately it bursts out and starts attacking Lady Frankenstein and, like, trying to, like, bite her severely. And without even thinking about it, Frankenstein just shoots him in the head. And Lady Frankenstein, of course, does not take that well. She thinks that he was just scared being born, and that was, something. But either way, they trudge on because they realize where they have to go, because it was made from some level of genetic implants or whatever from the pair of them, so it shares some of their memories. And they make their way to the original Castle Frankenstein, where they were both made. Meanwhile, at S.H.A.D.E.net, they realize, oh, Father Time, you kept their son alive without their knowledge for all these years. And that was like 1959, I think. So, yeah, it's been a while. And Father Time's like, I don't have to explain myself to you. But Ray Palmer gets really pissed off about this, of how he's, like, just manipulating Frankenstein and Lady Frankenstein and how awful it is. And he's like, you know what? I'm ready to go talk to the UN, and I'm going to recommend that they cut off all funding to S.H.A.D.E. So he storms off, Father Time storms off, and everyone else just keeps watching the screen. We see Frankenstein and Lady Frankenstein go inside of the Frankenstein's lab, and they smell some rotting flesh, and when they look up in the rafters, they see eating a dead body is their son, who doesn't look great. So they try to talk it down, and they're like, hey, all right, we're not going to hurt you. And he just immediately latches onto that word hurt, and then keeps repeating it as he attacks Frankenstein. People watching the screen see this, they're ready to go off to help. But the fight continues on, and Frankenstein, he promised Lady Frankenstein at the beginning of the issue he would not hurt their son. He would do whatever he could to take it in peacefully, and, like, they can deal with it. But as he keeps on fighting, he's, like, apologizing for what he did. He didn't want to hurt him, but he needs to stop now. He needs to calm down. And he says, I don't want to kill you. And then the son of Frankenstein, just not being able to speak very well, just keeps on repeating, like, kill me, over and over, until finally Lady Frankenstein steps in with Frankenstein's sword, stabs him through the neck, and says, this is the only thing we could have given him as parents. It's the only thing we know. And just walks out sadly. The team is all there, and they're looking at Frankenstein and Lady Frankenstein. They're like, you guys all right? Is it gone? And they just, yeah, it's gone. And then Lady Frankenstein reaches into the back of her neck and pulls out her S.H.A.D.E.net implant and was like, all right, I quit. I'm done with all this. Like, I'm going my own way. How dare you do this? And Father Time's like, you can't just leave. Like, you belong to S.H.A.D.E, whatever. She gives Frankenstein a kiss as she leaves, and then walks over to Father Time and just starts strangling him, and just like, you have been lying to us for decades. You knew that was there the whole time, and you treat, like, I'm never going to forgive you for this. So she walks off into the, like, mountainous tundra, and Frankenstein's just like, well, I officially have nothing else in my life except for S.H.A.D.E, so let's go home. And that's where it wraps up. They did a lot in just one issue. Like, hot damn, that was. They not only set up, gave the backstory to, finished the whole Son of Frankenstein thing, but then also gave totally legitimate reason as to why not only Ray Palmer, but also Lady Frankenstein were leaving the book. And it was great. It was fantastic the whole way through. Honestly, my only critique in I would have liked to see a bit more of like Son of Frankenstein, but if there's no problem with it being just this real quick thing. I think it may have come a little bit too easy that Lady Frankenstein decided to kill him again, especially considering the entire first half of the book is "How dare you?" But considering that Son of Frankenstein was literally asking for it, I'm more agreeable to it. So overall, I give this issue. Honestly, I give this issue like a 8 feels right. I'm close to 8.5, but 8 feels right. I don't know. I couldn't put my finger on exactly what's missing for those extra 2 points, but an 8 just feels right to me. So I have no clue where we're going to go from here. Maybe S.H.A.D.E's going to lose its funding because of Ray Palmer. Maybe we're going to go on a finding Lady Frankenstein thing, convince her to come back. Maybe she's out of the book for good. I don't know, but it's got me. It's hooked me, and I'm very, very interested.